January 29th, 1945, Belgium. An American soldier turns the corner of a farmhouse and walks straight into 90 German soldiers. Not unarmed, not confused, fully awake, fully armed. Only 4 Americans are guarding them, kneeling in the snow, hands behind their heads. A German officer steps forward, raises his submachine gun, and presses it into the American's stomach. He starts screaming. The American doesn't raise his hands. He doesn't run. He doesn't fire. He laughs. 60 seconds later, 21 Germans are dead. The rest surrender. And that laughing soldier earns the Medal of Honor. This isn't a myth. This isn't Hollywood. This really happened. And to understand why a man would laugh in that moment, you have to understand everything that happened before it. His name was Leonard Alfred Funk, Jr. He was born on August 27, 1916, in Braddock Township, Pennsylvania, just 8 miles east of Pittsburgh, in the heart of America's steel country. This was not a place that produced celebrities. It produced workers. Steel mills dominated the skyline. Smoke filled the air. Men worked long hours for little pay. Leonard Funk grew up during a time when survival itself was a challenge. By the time he graduated high school in 1934, the Great Depression had already crushed millions of American families. Jobs were scarce. Futures were uncertain. College wasn't realistic. Ambition had to wait. Funk took responsibility early, helping support his family and care for his younger brother. He learned discipline not from books, but from necessity. Quiet, reliable, unremarkable. And that's exactly why no one would have ever predicted what he would become.
By 1941, the world was on fire. Europe was engulfed in war. Asia was already bleeding. And America knew it was only a matter of time. In June 1941, Congress expanded the draft. Leonard Funk's number was called. At 24 years old, he reported to the induction center in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. On paper, Funk didn't stand out. He was 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighed about 140 pounds. To many officers, he probably looked like clerical material. But Leonard Funk had a different idea. He volunteered for airborne duty. At the time, paratroopers were still considered experimental. Jumping out of airplanes behind enemy lines seemed reckless, even suicidal. Training was designed to break men. 5 brutal weeks of physical punishment, endless running, obstacle courses, jump towers, live fire drills. More than half of the volunteers quit. Funk didn't. He earned his jump wings and was assigned to Company C, 1st Battalion, 508th Paratroop Infantry Regiment, later absorbed into the legendary 82nd Airborne Division. The All-Americans. Men who would land first and leave last. June 6, 1944. D-Day. Leonard Funk stands inside a C-47 transport plane as German anti-aircraft fire lights up the night sky. The aircraft shakes violently. He carries nearly 60 pounds of equipment, weapon, ammunition, grenades, rations. The plane is flying dangerously low. There is no choice. The green light turns on. Funk jumps. Chaos follows. Paratroopers scatter across miles of enemy territory. Some drown in flooded fields. Some are killed before they can even stand. Funk hits the ground hard. His ankle twists violently. Pain shoots up his leg. But he gets up. For the next 10 days, deep behind enemy lines, Funk leads 18 American paratroopers through occupied France. They move only at night. They hide during the day. They avoid patrols. They ration food. Despite his injury, Funk remains in front. And when they finally link up with Allied forces, not a single man is lost. For his actions, Funk is awarded the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, and the Purple Heart. Most soldiers would have considered this more than enough. But the war was far from over.
After Normandy came Holland. Operation Market Garden, the largest airborne operation in history. Then winter. Then the Ardennes, the Battle of the Bulge. It was here that Leonard Funk witnessed something that would change him forever. December 1944, Malmedy, Belgium. German SS troops capture American prisoners. They are unarmed. They are helpless. They are executed. 84 Americans murdered in cold blood. The news spreads fast. For Funk, the war becomes personal. From that moment on, he makes a quiet vow: I will never surrender.
January 29th, 1945. Holzheim, Belgium. Company C has captured nearly 80 German prisoners during the fighting. Resources are stretched thin. Only 4 Americans are left to guard them. Then chaos erupts. The German prisoners overpower their guards. Weapons are grabbed. When Funk turns the corner of the farmhouse, he sees it all unfolding. 90 Germans, 4 Americans, 0 margin for error. A German officer jams a submachine gun into Funk's stomach and shouts orders. Funk doesn't speak German, but he understands something else. If he hesitates, everyone dies. And so, he laughs. That laughter does something unexpected. It breaks the moment. The Germans hesitate, and Funk attacks. What follows is a blur of violence, close-quarters combat, point-blank gunfire, shock, and speed. In under a minute, 21 German soldiers are dead. The rest surrender in panic. Against impossible odds, Leonard Funk survives.
September 5th, 1945. The White House. President Harry S. Truman places the Medal of Honor around Funk's neck. Truman famously says, "I would rather have this medal than be president." The highest honor America can give. But Funk doesn't change. He doesn't chase fame. He doesn't tell war stories. He goes home.
Leonard Funk died in 1992. He is buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Most people don't know his name. But on a frozen day in Belgium, a quiet American soldier laughed at 90 enemies and changed history in 60 seconds. Because courage doesn't always shout. Sometimes it laughs.